Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello, and welcome back to another episode, a very special episode of Everything Possible in Dark Souls 2. And today, it's special because today we're not exploring areas as much as we are killing the 4 Great Ones. So we are going to start with the Lost Sinner. I have summoned Lucatiel of Mira, mostly because we want to get her gear later on in Aldia's Keep. And you've noticed that there's no enemies here. I did run through before and I killed all the enemies prior, because even though Lucatiel has received a significant defense buff, I just don't trust her, honestly. And I need her to survive in order to get her gear. So it's clear, it makes it simple. I also have Whisper of Despair equipped, which is a hex that will cause the Lost Sinner to lose 20% of her physical defense for a limited period of time. That way Lucatiel can actually feel like she's contributing. And we already have the arena lit up thanks to the Brightstone Key earlier. So locking on is not much of an issue. So there we go with the Whisper of Despair, and now Lucatiel can actually do a little bit of damage. We can actually do some damage as well, as long as we can hit her with Great Lightning Spear. Now keep in mind, the Whisper of Despair is not helping me at all. It does not affect miracles, sorceries, or hexes, or even pyromancies. It only affects the physical damage. Her dodging is phenomenal. I love the boss arena, by the way, for the Lost Sinner. I have to say it's probably my favorite in Dark Souls 2 because I love the crazed writings of the Lost Sinner just spread around the room. They don't say anything legible that we can tell so far, but I just think it's pretty cool that she's been trapped here for who knows how long, and she's just been scribbling as the days turn her insane. Great Soul Embrace, we have the Lost Sinner Soul. And there are a couple of items in a chest to the left here. And we can get ourselves a Fragrant Branch of Yore and an Elizabeth Mushroom. And with the Primal Bonfire lit, it's time for the next boss. So here we are once again in Brightstone Cove, Seldora, summoning Ashen Night Void. And we are going to take out the Duke's Dear Freja. And we'll get a random Zweihander. I do get another one later on as well. So when all is said and done, I will have 3 Zweihanders that I've picked up in the first half of this playthrough. So if you want to triple hand Zweihanders, follow my path. You'll have your chance. You can see that I have the Hex Scraps of Life equipped. And I cannot think of a better way to start this fight than to just let loose 2 of these Scraps of Life and have all the spiders disappear. Minus the large one in the center. Now Ashen Night Void, rocking the S-Stock, is not going to do a whole lot of damage to Freja. However, Ashen Night Void is a great distraction. And since this boss only has 2 particular hit points, having her distracted so I can focus on the other is extremely valuable. So I'm just going to keep using my lightning spears. What? Hold on, what did I just see? We're going to have to rewind that and take another look, because I swear... Oh yeah, sure enough. That lightning spear just takes a very sharp angle, almost straight up, in order to hit Freja. I guess I really don't have any other excuse for making fun of the enemies and their incredible tracking on their projectiles, considering I just witnessed what can only be perceived as black magic in the form of a great lightning spear. Anyway, moving on. If you do enough damage to one of Freja's heads, it will come off. But that's a leg. And there it is, rolling around. And if you want to play a friendly game of soccer with Ashen Night Void, you can kick it around. Fortunately, that is a physics effect that they left in, and I appreciate them for it. And the only problem with taking out the head, yes, technically it's 1 less threat to worry about. However, now we only have 1 hitbox. But thanks to our NPC sacrifice, we can take her out with relative ease. We have the Soul of the Duke's Dear Freja. Now keep in mind, she is not a Great One. Granted, you have to kill her in order to get the Great One soul, but this glowing item on the ground, that's the actual Great Soul. So you do not embrace it, you do not pick it up until you've actually examined that item, which seems to have fallen from the dragon that's hanging above. I'm going to let you lore speculators talk about that in the comments below. I know what I think, but we'll be talking about that later on. And from this gentleman, we get the Brightstone Key, we get the Dark Quartz Ring +1, and we also get another Fragrant branch of Yore. And you may not recognize this enemy right away. However, we have a very aggressive warrior who's missing a head. And that's right, this is Vengarl's body. Defeating him will drop the rest of his armor. Remember, we got the helm from the head of Vengarl earlier. However, visiting Vengarl after you've destroyed his body will cause him to start selling the red rust scimitar, sword, and shield. With Freja dead and with the Brightstone Key in hand, it is time to go pick up a couple of other items that are now unlocked. So here we are in the room that has the spiders hanging from the ceiling. We looked at this door earlier and now we can open it. And of course, if you take a look in the holes, it's another ambush. They could have hid these a little bit better, but I guess I can't blame them for trying. I couldn't get them to aggro, but maybe with a more precise spell like a Great Lightning Spear you could have. But who has time to try that out? Now there are a number of spiders, so I definitely recommend you pull them back and you use a bottleneck in order to funnel them right towards you. Because if you try to fight them in that confined room, especially with their stun lock capabilities, you could be in for a bad time. Just a couple of more, and a door. Alright, last one. And it looks like he dropped something. Please be. Yes! Alright. Got ourselves another Zweihander. You can never have too many. Unless you have more than two. Open up the chest and get ourselves yet another Black Knight weapon, this time the Ultra Greatsword. We also got the Great Fireball, Pyromancy, and a Fire Seed. And one last time, we will visit our friend Man-Scorpion Tark again with the Ring of Whispers equipped. And once Frey's dead, you can come back and visit him to get the second Dragon Ring. Second Dragon Ring will give you an extra 5% HP, 10% stamina, and 10% equipment load. Now on to the Rotten, summoning Lucatiel for the third and final battle that she will join us for. And don't summon Lone Hunter Schmidt. There's a reason he's called Lone Hunter Schmidt. It's because no one else wants to hunt with him, and that's because he's awful. He has very little HP, he does even less damage, and unless you really need another meat shield just to throw in the Rotten's way, just keep him to his namesake and keep him alone. So I do have the stats now to wield Santier's Spear, and I'm going to try it out, and I really like the moveset. With Santier's Spear, depending on how you're holding it and whether you're using the light or strong attack, it has movesets of a spear, of halberds, and of twin blades. So I had a lot of fun using this, and it was going pretty well. The only issue is, I need Lucatiel to survive. So if it was just me, I probably would have kept attacking with Santier's Spear, but eventually I realized Lucatiel is just going to eat it if I keep trying this out. So I will switch to Great Lightning Spear. And even more importantly, I'm actually about to equip the Red Tearstone Ring so I can do even more damage while Lucatiel tanks. And you can just watch his health bar to see the damage difference. It's significant. But boy, did I come close. Okay, that was a bad example. But that's a significant chunk of damage done in one single lightning bolt. Even so, it's starting to get a little bit close for Lucatiel, and if she dies, I am going to have to kill myself, so thank you, Luca, for not making me face that awful decision. Great Soul Embrace, we have the Rotten Soul now. It's time to move on. Now, before you rush to the bonfire, there is an item that you do want to pick up. As soon as you can locate the cave that they cleverly hid, I just run around the room just so you can get a lay of the land. Make sure you know where it is. Obviously, I knew it was here the whole time. And inside this iron chest, we have our fourth Sublime Bone Dust of the playthrough. Now, keep in mind, you can only get a +5 Estus Flask. So once you've found 5 Sublime Bone Dust, even if you're on New Game Plus or higher, you cannot upgrade your Estus more. except for using shards to actually get more uses. But let's go ahead and face the Old Iron King, our last great one. I'm going to mix it up a little bit, try out some Heavenly Thunder, which is that AoE lightning spell we picked up a while ago. And it looks like, yeah, someone dropped their souls over here. Anytime you see souls on the ground, go ahead and pick them up. I'm not sure who was careless enough to die to the Old Iron King. It wasn't me, but I'll pick them up anyway, just because I hate litter. This spell seems to work really well, actually, especially because after some of his attacks, he's left wide open. And because he has so many hitboxes on such a large area, you can get a number of hits off on one cast. Alright, and almost dead. And we'll finish him off easily. We have a couple of great lightning spears. And there goes the fourth and final great one. So now we embrace his great soul, we pick up his regular soul, and inside we have an iron chest right in the left here, don't miss it. And here's actually our fifth and final Sublime Bone Dust. So already we have the ability to create the most efficient Estus flask that we can have, and we're only about halfway through the game, maybe a little bit more. Not bad. But now that we've killed all the great ones, let's make a visit to Shrine of Winter. And let's open it up the proper way instead of skipping around it. For atmosphere. And now here we are back in Majula because a couple of things have changed. Chloanne will now sell unlimited Titanite shards and 10 large Titanite shards, and that's because we've cleared Iron Keep. So once you've killed the Iron King, you can visit Chloanne and start stocking up on some upgrade materials. Next, we'll visit Mullen, because he has a little bit more armor to sell to us. And that armor would be the Lost Sinners armor. The penal mass will increase your equipment load, and the handcuffs will increase the power of pyromancies. The other items unfortunately don't do anything. We will pick up the handcuffs, as we will be using pyromancies later on. And lastly, we have Sweet Shalquar, who, because we've opened the Shrine of Winter, will now sell unlimited Homeward Bones, Prism Stones, Alluring Skulls, and Lloyd's Talismans. I don't know why you want more Lloyd's Talismans, but they're available now to you. So this is going to wrap up this somewhat special episode of Everything Possible in Dark Souls 2. I hope you learned something, and if not, I hope you at least enjoyed the episode. If you did learn something, please leave me a comment below letting me know what you learned. If I missed something, please put that in the comments below as well. Next time, guys, we're going to take out Drang Lake Castle and see what the rest of the game has to offer us. Thanks for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time.